Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day, enjoying this wonderful and delightful nature. Holy moly, this place is awesome. So what's the magic that I discovered after knocking my head on wisdom? Well, it was a quite frequent occurrence with one of my daughters, even as a young child. And she would come tell me a story. You know what happened? I rode my bike and I went down the street and I saw the fire hydrant, and then I went to see my friend, and then I said so and this is what happened. So what I would do is I would look at her and listen to her and nod my head, and a minute later she came back. She'll go, oh, you know what happened? You know what happened? I went on my bike, I rode my bike, and I went down the hill, and I saw the fire hydrant, but then I continued, and then I stopped in front of my friend's house. And I would go, what did I do wrong? I didn't look at my watch. I didn't hold anything in my hand. I made eye contact. I smiled. I nodded with my head. I showed facial expressions of love. Then I decided to try the following. And it worked like magic, and it works 98% of the time, maybe even 100. Thank you, Lord, for giving me this idea, because or else I would still be stuck today. And what I did was, when she would come to me with that same story, I would smile, nod with my head, obviously the eye contact, and then I would add one more thing. I would repeat what she told me. So I would say, so you went on your bike, you passed by the fire hydrant, then you went to your friend's house, blah, blah, blah. And she runs off. She runs off. She's fine. Now, if someone would tell me something that takes 5 or 10 minutes or half an hour, I only started doing recently because I realized I actually made mistakes. I'd listen very carefully to people, and I found that about 20 to 30% of the time, I actually don't understand them, did not get to them. Till today, in my sessions, or if there's someone tries to convey a message to me, after the 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, I said, could I repeat to you what I think I understood? And they go, sure. And I say, basically, I'm going to paraphrase the way I understood it. You said so and so. And there's always this overwhelming excitement. Yes, yes. 20, 30% of the time, they go, no. And I go, please help me. Please help me. So what is this magic? How does it work? You looked a person in the eyes. You smiled. You were patient. Why? By repeating it. Does it make the magic? And I think this is subconscious. I don't think my daughter at that time, at the age of 9 or 10, understood the science. And I think I can prove it. I think it's pretty simple. When I look at you in your eyes, and I listen, I nod my head, I smile, there's a very good possibility that I actually heard what you said. But there's also a chance that while you're looking at me, your brain is elsewhere. Some people are trained to look in other people's eyes, and they're busy thinking about what they're going to eat in an hour. They're busy thinking about their schedule. So sometimes it's pretty noticeable because you see their eyes drift away. You could tell they're thinking. But even if we look someone in the eyes, we could get distracted. I believe, and this is just not my belief, you could challenge me if you find the science or what I discovered is wrong, and I love to learn. Till I was 20, I knew everything, and now I almost know nothing. I'm just a student learning. So how am I recording this stuff? Because this stuff I'm learning from when I've spoken to hundreds, if not thousands of people over the years. So I'm a sponge, and I get all the drops of water from everyone, and I come here and I squeeze it. But this is not my thoughts. This is not my wisdom. This is the collective wisdom from hundreds of my clients and friends, colleagues that have taught me so much. And now I forgot where I was, but I think I'll get back on track. Yes, I know now where I was. So when you acknowledge through eye contact and through a shake and through a smile and through, not a shake, but a nod, there's a good possibility you're listening. Now, when I come to you and I repeat your story, I repeat your feelings, there's a very, very good chance that I actually got you. And that explains why when my daughter would tell me about something that happened in school or something that happened after school, and I would look at her and sometimes even ask a question or two, it wouldn't work. She would come back and tell me the same story again. I think this is this amazing neuroscience that when I repeated to her what she told me, her brain clicked. The switch clicked and said, okay, I know he listened to me. Let me go back outside and play because he got me. He listened to me. We need to be listened. We have a question. Let me ask you, Isaac W. I hear what you're saying. What happens if I actually listened to everything you said and I did it all? In the four, you shared the last, I believe, 4 clips. I repeated. And what happens, because it does happen, what happens if my wife continues with the exact same story? Where do I go from here? Guess what? There's an answer to that too. There is an answer to that too. Which means there are times that you could do everything right. And your wife, or your husband, or your friend, or your colleague will come back 3 years later with the exact same story, with the exact same grievances. I've seen people repeating stories of 30 years ago. They did not let go. They're still sitting there and avoiding all the beautiful gifts of life. They are avoiding everything that's in the now, all the goods in the now, because they're holding on to the sewer system that someone brought them into 30 years ago. What do I do then? Because how much patience could I have? And not so much patience. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good human being. How do I address that? If my wife will repeat this stuff for weeks, months, and even years. Thanks for joining me next week, and I will share with you the answer. But till then, I so appreciate that you do know that you are greater than you think you are.